I'd like to welcome you all out tonight. Apologize for being a few minutes late. I don't know where the days go. It gets dark and days gone. So we'll call to order at 7:06. I'll ask Kenny if he would mind giving an invocation.
Our dear Father, we're grateful to meet here tonight and discuss this wonderful community. Help us to be able to have that spirit to guide and direct us in the things that we stand in need of, and to be able to listen to the community and make it a better place to live. And these things we pray for in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Kenny. Join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll excuse Dirk tonight and also Councilman Scott. He's under the weather tonight. Looks like we have a couple of public comments. If Darlene Judd would like to come up and share her concerns or whatever they are.
I do have some concerns. My name is Darlene Judd, and my husband and I, Steve, we moved here to Fredonia, and moved our business from Kanab to Fredonia. And we pooled our life savings into building a new house. And the business, we've put quite a bit of money into it. And when we moved here, they told us that we had to get permission from our neighbors to do the business. So we had written permission. We had to bring it to you guys, which was approved from both our neighbors, because at the time we only had 2 neighbors. And now we are under the understanding that someone is trying to do industrial right in front of our house. And so we picked that side of the road because it looked like all the industrial was across the street. You had the tanks and the porta potty and all this industrial stuff, and then we had houses on our side. So that's why we chose to build here. We don't want industrial in front of our house. It's going to affect our business, and it's not like we can just pick up and move.
Right.
We just moved here 3 years ago. We're involved in the community. We love Fredonia. We want to stay here. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, we will look into that
Thank you, sir.
and we will address it. I know that there are some stuff already going in there, but we'll look into that and address that.
What do you mean there's already stuff going in there?
Up the road, it's not actually right in front of you. I see they put another road in up there, and they've got some trucks and a few things in there.
That's not right in front of my house, though.
Right. So we will look into that.
Thank you, sir.
We'll get back with you.
Okay, thank you.
Steve, do you have something you'd like to add?
Well, I'd just like to say, I've always envisioned that if people that move here, they're probably going to be coming from Utah, because a lot of people want to live in Kanab, but they don't realize that Fredonia is just a little gem. And it's so pretty along the creek. You see the cottonwoods and everything, and you come over the hill by the buckskin, and it's just really pretty, that whole side of the road. But the other side, the sagebrush hasn't grown up as tall, and it's not as pretty. It would be better if you are going to make anything industrial, to make that industrial, and then make the other side residential. Or I think right now, I'm not completely sure, but it's just zoned as nothing. But yeah, I'd like to see that, because I believe Fredonia's, the schools are dying, people are moving out, and we just need more growth here. You know, I don't like people that much, but I love Fredonia, and I'd like to see families here. You know, it's just a sad thing that after the sawmill shut down and refinery, and I worked at both of those, as you did. And there was a lot of families here then, and after living in Kanab for 30 years, Fredonia has like a bad reputation, and I didn't like that. You know, I didn't like hearing that about Fredonia, because I'm a Fredonia boy, and I like Fredonia, not Kanab. But I'd like to see some of the people that have moved away and moved back here. So if you guys would consider that, I'd appreciate
Okay,
it.
we appreciate your concern and your interest in that. And we are gonna keep our tough guy deal down here in Fredonia, so don't worry about that. And we've got some really exciting things happening that we are excited about, and things are gonna start turning around a little bit. We got some nice projects going, and we're finishing some of them right now that we're really excited about. Ted Jensen, you got a comment?
Just briefly, is involving the zoning change. I was here when you're planning zoning, and I don't know what it will look like, but I didn't realize the location. I was excited when I heard that they were coming down, but when I found out it was going to be right in front of a good friend, my neighbor, Steve, and then I knew what they had to go through to get their home put there and how much they've invested in. And it's worth even going down there and seeing. They've just done an unbelievable job and put a lot of money in. And I couldn't imagine, I just didn't realize that's where that was gonna go in at. I don't know what it will look like, but I know that they had to get approvals from neighbors to have it done. When we looked at some of the stuff that we were doing with subdivision, we were very cognizant of the commercial, between the commercial and residential, and one of the things that we were gonna do was put a cement fence all the way along to separate the commercial from the other, something to give a buffer. And I just would like to voice an opinion that we really need to look at what we're doing and look at the overall, and not step on people when we do it, especially when their life's work is there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ted.
Is there any other public comment? Anybody would like to present? We'll move down here to the reports. I'll give a quick report of a few things that are going on around town.
The consent items first.
I'm jumping ahead again, I'm sorry. We need to do our consent items. We need to approve the agenda for November 19th, the minutes from October 29th, and the payment approval. Is there somebody who'd like to?
I'll make a motion that we accept this November 19th and October 29th and the payment approval reports.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, unanimous. All right, now I'll move into the report area. Our sewer project that we're doing is on a temporary hold. I guess there were some permits that hadn't been taken care of from our engineer. They've all been taken care of now, and we're just waiting on ADOT to open it back up and let us get rolling again. Currently, we have about 8,000 feet of the sewer in place. They're encountering a little bit of a problem up there. There's a rock shelf that comes down through there that we wasn't counting on, so it's slowing them down quite a bit. They're 16 feet deep right now, and they're in 2 feet of rock, and we have to go down to 25 feet, so we're gonna be in 8 foot of rock if it continues to get deeper there. But anyway, that's moving along well. The subdivision out there that sewer is for, they're excited to get started. We have some other businesses out there that are doing really well. I don't know if any of you even know, there's a countertop shop out there, a granite countertop shop, that are doing some really beautiful work, and we appreciate all of them. Our light project is pretty well finished, and we're finalizing that right now. think it's made the town look a lot brighter and a lot nicer. Even the extra lights we was able to get has helped a lot. And we appreciate all the help we've got on that. Any of you guys have anything that you'd like to talk about or report on?
This time, I'm good.
Okay. We'll move into our action items.
Department heads, but Sheena won't be here, we have Sonia.
Oh, okay, I was looking around for Sheena and I didn't see her, so, sorry, Sonia.
Sheena called in sick, so.
All right, Sonia, I'll turn the time over to you.
Hi, how are you guys? Well, the senior center's been going good. It's been a wild ride there for a minute, but hopefully I have help now. Albert started like 2 weeks ago, and he's doing a really good job. And then I also have, what's it called? Community service person helping. And she is doing amazing, and she helps me like 3 days a week for 2 or 3 hours. And she's been doing a great job for me, and she helped me a lot when I didn't have anybody. And then Sheena and Deidre and Delenn and my mom and Steve has all stepped up to help where we could get everything done. And for the months of August, September, and October, congregate, we fed 398, and home deliveries, 790, and takeouts were 1,981, and we made $775 on our bake sale in those 3 months. And we also had Halloween, a Halloween lunch on Halloween, and some of the people dressed up, and the Baker Bunch come, and we had it in the paper. So I didn't know if any of you guys got to see it, so I brought it to show you.
It's awesome.
So, yeah, and it was really cool. There were some people sitting over here too, and then tomorrow's our Thanksgiving dinner, and I already have 100 signed up. So it is wild. And they are still doing exercising on Thursday. We don't have a lot do it, but we do have 2 that do it, so she faithfully keeps doing it. And they do puzzles every day. They have got where they just do them all the time, and they hang out more and visit. They used to just eat and leave, so it's kind of cool that they hang out and visit and stuff. And I just want to thank you guys for always supporting me and supporting the senior center to keep it going. And thank you.
Thank you too.
Yeah, we appreciate what you do over there. It's a ton of work. I don't know how you do all that stuff to go. That,
Come tomorrow.
that's pretty neat. Pretty neat.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. You guys have anything you need to bring up?
Well, and it's kind of on the action item, I believe. No, it's for so we do have the, Robinson Tree Service. I think you guys have a copy of it. Their contract is coming due, and we just need to get that signed. Skyler stopped by today, and he said they were probably the cheapest and the most effective around. And we've had them, I don't know how many years, so.
I haven't seen them today in town.
But it's a 3-year contract.
Okay. So apparently we have a new form for land combination split line adjustment. We've had a lot of controversy over this, on what is a lot line adjustment and a split. And I wish Counselor Ballard was here because he understands that a little bit more than I do. But this simplifies it a lot more and makes it a lot more straightforward. It's just a new form that you fill out when you're doing that. We need to set up some committees and departments where we assign the council to these different committees and departments, and we'll work on that in-house during the week. I know there's a lot of them that feel like they need some help, and we would like to be part of them committees also, so we'll be talking to you. The Sawmill Estate subdivision progress, a little bit, I talked to you a little bit about the sewer that's going out there. They're doing a really nice job. If we can get the state road to give us a go-ahead on that. I'd like to thank Steve Magnette. He kind of took it on himself to get the permits and stuff finished up that our engineers were supposed to have done. He took it on himself and got them all in place for us. We appreciate him and what he's done on that. We're working on our general plan. If we could get this general plan in place, it would solve a lot of the problems that we're having here as far as what's what and where what is. We've done quite a bit on it. We need to get it in order and get it sorted out. We have a project going with 911 that's readdressing the streets. We have a lot of problem with our ambulances and first responders coming down here trying to find the correct house. There's a lot of numbers that are not on the houses, and it makes it really hard for them to find where people are, as well as some of the other delivery companies that can't find the houses. So we're readdressing all that right now. We're working on some emergency preparedness backup generators, getting quotes on some of them. We need one here for the office. We got one for the senior center that's been really helpful. It's actually saved us a couple of times in the last year from losing a bunch of food. We're constantly working on a secure water supply. We're looking at some more wells and improving the wells that we do have. They spent quite a bit of time up there 2 years ago putting new pumps in and doing a lot of work on the water lines. It's working quite well. Unfortunately, we still have to use the reservoir, and you've all smelled our water during the summer. It smells kind of mossy and fishy, but we're a lot better off than a lot of communities. If we had a problem, we have a lot of free-flowing water that we don't have to pump. If there was ever a real big problem, we would be able to get water. Our crew, Skylar and them, they do a really good job. They're on top of things up there with our water treatment. The boys have been getting certified in all the water treatment areas. We've got our utility board working again. I think they're still needing a couple people on there. So if anybody's interested in that, we would be willing to put you to work on that. This city tax code keeps coming up and up and up, and we would like to change that. It's a pretty tough thing to change. We've been looking into how we can get rid of that. Till we get some growth and some things happening here, it's gonna be really hard to make a change on that, but it is something that we need to look at really hard, and we'd appreciate everybody's input on that also. The sales tax. Working on an equipment and vehicle policy for the town. And we have a lot of equipment and vehicles that we're working on policy on them, on how we need to take care of them and who can use them and when they can use them. Same with the purchasing policy. We've done a lot of work on putting limits on them and changing them, raising some limits and lowering limits. I think that's a constant battle no matter what town you're in or where you're at. They need to be able to do their job, but we still are responsible for those funds.
we're looking at purchasing the electrical structure on the old Kaibab land out there. There's a transformer out there that doesn't belong to the city. I think it's gonna be kind of hard for us to do anything with, but we're looking into buying that so that we can expand out there. It's gonna have to be changed. It's all too close to the ground. We're gonna have to kind of get it moved around so that we can expand the way we need to expand. And I don't know if we've talked about this before, but there's a new form and prices for records request. When you come in and request records, you're gonna have to pay I don't know, what is the cost on them?
It depends on what you ask for and how much time it takes. We had a request and it took almost Brittany all day long to gather up the records. And so, and this gentleman kept coming back in and asking for more. And so, depends on what you ask for, colored copies, whatever, you know? So, but, you know, she needs to be, we're pulling her away so she can get records. And that's not fair to the rest of people in the city either, pull her away from one person.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. Okay, now we'll move down to our action items. Discussion of possible action regarding damage to a headstone at the cemetery. I understand there was some damage to one of the headstones by some of the equipment when we mowed, and I learned about this morning. I had a chance to look at it, but we'll be out there looking at that and find out what we can do to make that right, get that straightened out. It's a really tough task them guys have. I just want you to all know that if you're ever out there when they're taking care of that cemetery, it's a lot of work keeping that mowed and trimmed, and we've had a lot of questions about that, but I think they do a really good job keeping it cleaned up and trimmed, and it looks really nice. But we will look at that damage and take care of that. Discussion and possible action regarding leave time for employees and payout of leave time. We've had a little discussion about this all week on our overtime as well as our other time. There's a lot of our employees that have accrued a ton of time, and when they retire, it's gonna cost us a ton of money. We need to change that so that we're kept up on it a little bit better, so that it's not a great big bill when they retire. That stuff accrues pretty fast, and we need to stay on top of that. And so we're checking with other towns around us and finding out how they do that. We've been just letting it accrue, and when they retire, it's a pretty good chunk of change, and if you don't budget it in, it messes your budget all up, so. Do you guys have any input you'd like to put on that? Okay, there's discussion, possible action regarding information on top covering for the levy. Maybe Councilor Johnson could explain what's going on with that. He's kind of been involved with that and been pushing that along.
Well, we had Skyler and his group, they went and they took it down 6 inches down. And then we're gonna go and get some fresh material, probably some chat from Plummer, and have him put it over the top of it and use it for a walking trail. But we've got it took down, but we haven't had him, Plummer's been having problems with his trucks and everything. And so we've been trying to get him to get going on that, but, and plus some of these drivers have quit, so as soon as possible, we're gonna get that covered back and bladed back out and make it look good. So we can use it for a walking path, to walk your dogs and stuff like that, to make it where it's usable instead of just everybody going up there on motorcycles. we don't wanna see that if we can help it, so. But it just, yes, Dan.
Is the intent to make it just for walking, or is it, you know, you already to say not motorcycles and such?
No, it's just for walking and bike riding. It's not for motorized vehicles.
Okay, just as a thought, when they do the grindings on the highway through town,
Yeah,
the highway department was willing to donate, a lot of the grindings,
Yeah.
that they got, and they said they had plenty of them, they have that big pile out further out in the town.
yeah, Skylar looked into that, and there's 6 or 8-inch material in there it wouldn't be very good to walk on.
Okay,
It's just way too big, it'd have to be all ground up again.
okay.
So Plummer gave us a really good deal on it, so we figured we'd go ahead and, we budgeted for it and everything. So hopefully we can get that done, so people can start using it.
We get an inspection on that dike every year. The state comes up and inspects that, and if there's any gullies or things in it, then we get hit pretty hard. So that's one of the reasons that we're doing that. We want to keep that dike in good condition so that FEMA can't come in here and make us change what we're doing with that. Okay, discussion of possible action regarding Kaibab Drive project. I was hoping Skylar could be here tonight to talk to us about that, but they've had some problems getting the cement in. I know they're still working on that.
I think they got it done, the sidewalks are done.
All the sidewalks are in finally?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all done.
So they'll be getting that oil put back in there. Hopefully that gives us something to look at that's been a little nicer than what it's been anyway. Appreciate you guys' patience on that.
Yeah, they can't oil until it's above a degree, like 80 degree or something. So they can't get back on it until they get that temperature up, so they can asphalt it.
So you guys are probably gonna be in some mud for a month or two, the way this weather's been. Okay, discussion and possible action regarding Garcane engineering fee of $390 being paid up front.
I don't need to stand, okay. So what happened was, we had a gentleman, call and email Justin 3 or 4 times a day wanting to have Garcane come down and map out to put in multiple meters. So when he got hold of Garcane told him, you realize that every time we come out to do this, we charge you an engineering fee. And if they don't go through with the project, we're still charging you with that engineering fee. So what we would like to do is have that fee be paid up front, and then when they submit when Garcane submits their final bill, then that's already paid, and we're not losing that $390 each time. We've already had that happen a couple times where somebody has asked them to go out, and then we're billed that $390, and we're not getting that from them.
Yeah, our
So-
town is a little different than a lot of them because we have our own power company. So everything is billed through the town instead of Garcane, and then we get stuck with a lot of that stuff. I'd like to make a motion that we pass that we make that a requirement of a engineering fee of $390 being paid up front.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Discussion of possible action regarding Norman Warren's approval of a modular being placed on his property at 65 East Dobson.
He was with family, but I can give him, I have him on speaker, and I think his plans are right there.
Hi, this is Warren.
Hello, Warren. We're just discussing your approval of modular being placed on property at 65 East Dobson. Have you,
Oh, thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
And you've been with planning and zoning on that,
Yes,
and everything was good with them?
yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve of his modular being placed on the property at 65 East Dobson. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're set. Thank you.
And number 7, discussion and possible action regarding Mark McAllister's request of a zone change on his property sitting on Highway 89 and Curly Horse from unassigned to industrial. Would you like to come up and just kind of explain what you've got going or what you're thinking?
Yeah, I'm Mark McAllister. The property is owned by an LLC that we own. It's called Highway 40 Properties. But anyway, here's a little map. I don't know if you guys thoroughly understand where my property sits according to the highway. But that's like the Judd family, Barry Judd and Kaibab Wild Horse owns this piece of property. Shauna Cox owns this one, she owns this one, and this is me in the middle.
Okay.
And Al Jessup, haven't met them, I don't know if they're here.
No.
They're not.
The owner, it's being rented, so the people that lived there were out of town. They wanted to be here, but they couldn't.
Okay.
So what are your plans on that property?
So, we have a small stone yard in Canab that we bought in April that we would like to relocate back on this property. We've been renting the property where our stone yard sits. It's really not very well located for being seen in the public. It's kind of small. It sits back on Chinley Drive by the Canab City yard. And so we're just trying to get more visibility. I bought the property 2 years ago. Just a little back history. I grew up in Canab, got married at 21, and moved to Heber City. I've been there all my life, at Heber City, Utah. And I always wanted to move back to Canab, and I've been working on it, and we've been able to do it in little baby steps. I've been in business for myself for 32 years, 33 years. Done little small businesses. But anyway, the plan is we'd like to put our stone yard on there. I don't know what we would do with the rest of the property after that. But I somehow would like to see if we could put some storage units in there, or possibly small places for a business to run their business out of, but that would have like some store frontage in front and storage in the back of like a shop, metal building separated up into different individual sizes of buildings for someone to run a small business out of.
Okay.
It's all in baby steps. I don't have a plan other than trying to find a place for my stone yard to go for right now.
Now, when you talk about your stone yard, it'll be on the highway frontage, probably pretty much out,
Yeah,
clear out by the highway?
We would like it to be visible from the highway, and for sure.
Okay. And have you been to planning and zoning on this also?
Yes. we were
Okay.
there last 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So you're hearing the controversy here tonight.
Yeah, and I understand. I didn't realize there were any homes directly behind our house or our property.
It's the huge house, you can't miss it.
It's way back.
It's clear down by the creek
It's,
in the
It's
corner,
pretty
back
horse
corner.
to get to it,
yeah,
and it's not visible from the highway.
oh, it's very visible from the highway. It's, yeah, you can see it, it's easy, just look right
It's
there.
further south.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
quite a ways south.
So you're behind the Shauna Cox property?
No.
So if we were looking at this,
See how this works too, it's, I don't know where this is the highway, so there's yeah, this, so it sits like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's being north.
from here to there.
And then you
We're
got,
on the north side of Curly Horse
Okay.
Lane.
We were under the impression that it was this,
yeah, where they,
Over
yeah,
here.
this side over here.
who
Back
owns
on your
this?
side.
Did you not buy this also?
No.
Okay. There's no, I have no problem
That's
with
still
that,
Judd's, correct?
but,
So is this your piece of property?
yeah, it goes, extends down about,
Are you the Judd's also?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think we've talked before.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
so I just don't want industrial right in front of my house.
yeah.
You know, we have business there with people coming and going, and the way, the only way we can get in, because we don't have an easement across here, is we have to come down Curly Horse Lane, right here. And we've been maintaining the road, Steve and I. We put
So it goes
cones
clear to the road,
still
so nobody
we're
can
fixing-
put nothing there.
Yeah.
We're fixing it constantly.
Yeah.
So we go north to Curly Horse?
Yes,
Actually,
we're on the north
actually,
side of Curly Horse.
What's that?
The Curly Horse easement's actually on our
Okay.
property.
This is
It's kind of
backwards.
The Curly Horse easement is actually on our property.
But it's an easement.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we have an easement on it.
And we go
Yeah.
from there north.
Keeping it up.
Yep.
This goes over here, but.
I bladed it once.
Yeah, we would definitely see that that road does need some improvement on it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
would be something that we would take care of and have the ability and the way to maintain it. And
Yeah.
I know it's a private road and everybody has to maintain the
So
The
you
right
did not
road
buy,
versus-
you didn't buy the property,
south.
south of Curly Horse,
No,
okay,
it just goes north.
okay.
I've noticed that there's been a little bit of activity around it and clean
Around what?
on the property.
On your property?
On the
No,
south side.
on the south one, like somebody's cleared some brush along the highway. I don't know.
Yeah, we
Don't
don't
have
know
to-
who did that, we have no idea.
Yeah.
And is that's your property, right?
Which one?
Along the highway?
No,
You go clear to the highway?
there's a property right in front of us that's two 15-acre plots that run along 89.
So this would
I
be.
believe that's also.
So it sits like
If we turn it
that.
so it's oriented, yeah, so that this is actually north, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
north.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that owns it
And then they got the
Barry,
big
This
house
is
back
theirs.
here.
Barry and Arlene
Yeah.
Jones own those two
There's a
15, they're
creek
trying to
over
sell
here.
it though.
Yeah.
They are.
So
for
it sounds
sale.
like we got things kinda
Because
worked
we're
out.
assuming-
Yeah, that's good.
We were told that there was industrial going in
We'd,
front of
we'd
our
make it
house.
work for you either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so it sounds like we've come to an agreement on it,
yeah.
okay?
If I would have known it was this gentleman, because I've had some nice conversations with him, and I know where he is, he's way on the other side of the highway, we've had nice conversations, but we thought it was the one directly, like, our house is within, how many feet of their line?
Just the border's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
And we'll take a look at that too.
Okay,
And I can vouch for these guys too. They'll take care of you also.
yeah, oh yeah, but we have a good relationship.
Okay. All right, good deal. That made that easy.
Any other questions or wonders or?
No.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
So I think that's something we're gonna have to do in a different meeting where we have to change the zoning on it, but it sounds like we've got everything so that we could do that. So we'll move forward with that. So-
What will you have a public hearing and?
Probably,
that
yeah,
for a
yeah, it'll
zone
have to be
change?
posted and a deal put on the bulletin board and a few things, but it should be pretty easy. So appreciate all of you working together on that. Okay, we move down to number 8. Discussion and possible action regarding Dupree Head putting in a subdivision on First East Street. Turn the time over to Duke.
Let's not go do weed or do
Here's kind of an update from the last one that I got you guys last. We had fire hydrants and one tie-in here rather than two, just because of how deep the agency had to go down, we would need to have two here, so it's just starting to come around here on the septic. But
Where's the, this is north, right? First,
anyway, this is a project that's been, gosh, I'm gonna say cost almost 3 years in the making. And part of it is Fredonia's kind of in a unique situation right now. Your school's on life support because your population's dwindling. We're one of the largest employers here in Fredonia, and I'm running at about 35–40% capacity because I can't get help. And you can't live in Kanab. My son is living with me with his new wife and baby on the way, and they would love to move into a home if they could afford a home. But the dirt's too expensive, the housing's too expensive, the impact fees are just ridiculous. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The answer to Fredonia School, the answer to my situation with employees is to create a product that was going to draw families to Fredonia. And in our view, it's not bringing renters, it's tying families to a mortgage and where they own their own dirt. And then they're here, they become Fredonians. Fredonianites?
yeah, that's good enough.
Then they're the ones that's gonna be, telling the stories, I grew up in Fredonia, et cetera, et cetera. So we're proposing this subdivision south of the Little League field. There's 20 homes there. They're smaller homes. They're 1,290 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. But we're not adding in all of the expensive things that, kids nowadays, they gotta start doing without. There is an option for a garage, but it's 9-foot ceilings. It's gonna have a metal roof. It's got fiberwood or metal siding. So they're products that have longevity, zero-scape. So we're trying to, one, create a product that's price-wise will bring these small families into Kanab, or into Fredonia. If we, push the price up, then obviously they're probably gonna end up in Kanab and not here. We feel it's a needed product for Fredonia. We've got 4 young families that are interested in the homes. They've got their financing available. Tony's daughter and her husband were approved. They can't find anything in Kanab, just because there's not a product out there for that group of people right now, and that's the group of people that I think would be a definite asset to Fredonia, especially to the school. So we're proposing these 20 homes. Again, they're nice homes. I don't know what else to say. We're gonna do a lot of panelized construction out of the plant to keep the pricing down. Do a lot of the work ourselves. We got a lot of the expertise in-house. We're gonna utilize, as much local as we possibly can to make this happen, but we feel like we can have these families in these homes for around $250, $260. This same home in Kanab is about $320 to $360. Most families right now can afford this, and it's a lot better investment than paying 100% interest by throwing it away in a rental payment. And that's what these families are doing right now. Kanab has a need of workers. They can't afford to live in Kanab. So I think it's perfect for Fredonia. I mean, it's a perfect storm for Fredonia to take advantage of these families that need these lower priced homes, and that's the product that we're trying to provide this area. And it would, in the long term, help me out by getting me some employees.
Yeah.
And I say me, it's my brother Tony and I, it's Reedhead Forest Management that's doing the project, not necessarily Duke Reedhead.
And we appreciate you guys too. We know how much work you do down there. Kind of make things happen around here. There's nobody that could live here if you guys weren't down there. You guys do a nice job, not only in town, but in the forests and everywhere else. You kind of look out for the best interest of all of us, and we appreciate that.
Well, we wanna stay here, but we don't wanna be here by ourselves, so we wanna bring in some young families and pump some. I mean, we were here when the sawmill shut down, and it's like somebody just knocked the wind out of this community.
Yeah.
And the best way to revise it is bring in young families and let them buy their own dirt, so they're tied here, and this is where they put down their roots. And the only way to do that is to bring some low, and I don't say low income, I want affordable homes.
They're nice homes. I've seen them, and they are really nice homes. People would be proud of them. They are nice. The only question I guess that we have is like, you've got a really nice set of plans here. We've had some building going on over in that area right there, right now, and we've required them to do sidewalk and gutter. And we're also doing some stuff with the tribe, and we're requiring them to do that. Pretty much all of the new subdivisions, we're requiring that, and so that's something that we feel like we need to kind of stick to our guns on, and we're gonna have to require the sidewalk and gutter. And I know it'll raise the cost and the price of them, but I think down the road, we'll all be thankful that we did that. You guys have all seen the duplexes over next door to you, how nice that looks.
Well, it is, but they're already having problems with sidewalks, so
Yeah,
that problem becomes you guys' in the future.
right.
They're already
Yeah, we realize that, but
And
but
we
still,
were
yeah.
well open to that.
it gives somewhere for the water to go. And I know personally, we had that business going next to us, and without gutters and stuff, there's no place for the water to go, and you just get flooded out every time it rains. It don't take very much rain, so we're wanting to look forward and make sure that we have that all taken care of. And that's my only concern with it. I don't know, how do you feel, Frank?
Okay, this set of plans here, we'd actually, the one that we gave the planning and zoning actually had sidewalks on it, and then we removed it just because, we're trying to bring the price down.
Right, and I understand that.
And, but putting in is not a huge issue. It's massive expense, but,
Yeah.
it's something. The other question we had is, and the city, to my knowledge, has the equipment to chip seal, right?
Yes.
Okay, to me, I would propose doing a chip seal rather than pavement, just because then the city can go in there and keep that, up to date and looking good.
You mean as far as the sidewalks, or?
No.
Or just the streets? Oh, yeah. That, I don't think that's a problem there.
Okay, and in the plans, it's got, and thrown this out there, you've got 2 fire hydrants, because if you reach 300 feet, 2 fire hydrants will cover that hole.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then you'd have 4 light posts in there, and so we feel like we've covered everything, but
That's a lot better in some of it than we have in town already, so.
well, we feel it's gonna be a
Nice.
nice product. If you've walked through that, the ones we've done in Kanab, they're beautiful homes, and
They
they're
are.
well built.
They are nice
2x6 construction, 9-foot ceilings, they're nice little homes. They're just small, because kids don't need to pay for a 3,000 square foot home and a boat and a 4-wheeler,
You have any input?
No, I think it's gonna turn out real nice. It'd be nice.
Like I said, we've got 4 families that are just waiting to get that model up, and they've got their financing in place, and within those 4 families I think there's already 7 kids, and so, we go 2 kids per home, that's
Yeah, don't take
80
long.
kids.
Yep.
That's a massive,
We get these 20 in, and those 20 out or 60 out in the sawmill, and you get these duplexes all filled up, that's gonna be 120 families.
well,
That'll help a
Kanab's-
bunch.
Kanab's created the need, and you guys can
Yeah.
fill it.
We're excited about all of it, and any way we can help with this, we're willing to help. I don't have a problem with any of it. I'd make a motion that we accept this subdivision on First East Street.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we've talked about the discussion of possible action regarding Sawmill Estates. for future discussion you'd like to see on the agenda?
No, not at all.
Okay. We can bring it on to the office if you get something. So we'll adjourn at 7:55. Thank you. Appreciate all of you.